If you're over 70, your body is whispering things to you every single day, but are you listening? Because if you're not, you might be doing something that's slowly wearing you down, and you may not even realize it. See, aging isn't the enemy. Neglect is, and the truth is, some habits that worked just fine when you were younger might now be quietly draining your strength, hurting your heart, or keeping you from truly enjoying the years you've earned. This isn't about fear. It's about awareness, about giving you the tools to age with grace, comfort, and power. Today, we'll talk about 9 things your body is practically begging you to stop. Not because you've failed, but because it's time to live smarter, not harder. So settle in, this isn't a lecture. It's a warm cup of tea between friends, and it might just help you feel better than you have in years. Number 1. Stop sitting for hours without moving. You might think resting is harmless, after all you've earned it, right? But here's the hidden danger. Stillness steals vitality. When you sit for hours, in your favorite recliner, at the kitchen table, or even reading on the porch, your circulation slows, your joints stiffen, your muscles quietly weaken. And before you know it, getting up feels like a chore, not a choice. Your body was made to move, not like an athlete, not like a marathoner, but like a human being who still wants to live fully. Even small movements help. A slow walk around the living room, standing and stretching during commercial breaks, doing gentle circles with your ankles while sitting. It doesn't need to hurt. It doesn't need to be fancy. I remember a sweet woman named Edna, 83 years old, who told me she used to sit in her chair from breakfast till dinner. "I'm just resting," she'd say. But one day she tripped and her body simply didn't have the strength to catch her. That's when she realized rest without movement had quietly become her trap. So if you're sitting now, pause this video for a moment, stand up, stretch your arms, roll your shoulders, feel your body say thank you. You're not fragile. You're alive. And life asks for motion, not perfection. Number 2. Stop skipping meals or eating just a little something. "I'm not really hungry, I'll just nibble." Sound familiar? As we age, our appetites often shrink, but our nutritional needs don't. What your body needed at 30, it still needs it now, but in smarter, more consistent doses. Skipping meals or just having toast and tea might seem harmless, but over time it weakens your immune system, makes you more vulnerable to dizziness or falls, and can leave you feeling tired, foggy, or even sad. You may not crave a full breakfast, but your body still craves fuel. It needs protein to protect your muscles, healthy fats to feed your brain, fiber to keep your digestion moving smoothly. I once met a widower named Carl. After his wife passed, he just stopped cooking. "What's the point?" he said. Some days he'd only eat crackers. But then came fatigue, infections, and memory slips. Food is not just nutrition, it's a signal to your body that you want to keep going. So if you live alone, prepare small meals ahead of time. If you forget to eat, set gentle reminders. Eat with others when you can. Sharing a meal fills the soul as much as the stomach. Remember, feeding your body is not an indulgence. It's a gift of life. You deserve to feel strong, stable, and satisfied. Number 3. Stop brushing off your sleep problems as just part of getting old. How'd you sleep last night? "Oh, you know. I was up and down like always. That's just how it is at my age." No, that's not how it has to be. Poor sleep is not a badge of aging. It's a sign your body is struggling and begging for help. When you don't sleep deeply and fully, your body can't repair itself. Your memory fogs, your mood dips, your immune system weakens, and your risk for falls, confusion, and even heart issues rises. But too many seniors accept bad sleep like it's normal. You might wake up every hour. You might feel exhausted by 10 a.m. and wide awake at 2 a.m. That doesn't mean you're broken. It means something's off and fixable. Start small. Stop caffeine after noon. Keep a consistent bedtime. Turn off the TV a half hour before bed and switch to calming music or a light book. One lovely man named Frank told me he began sleeping better when he simply turned down the lights after dinner and kept a small lavender sachet by his bed. "No more news, no more noise," he said. "Just peace." If you're waking to use the bathroom too often, talk to your doctor, kindly, gently. Don't accept it as just aging. You need and deserve rest that restores you, because your tomorrow depends on the sleep you give yourself tonight. Number 4, stop believing you're a burden when you ask for help. This is close to the heart. So many seniors, especially those who once cared for others, carry this deep, unspoken guilt when they now need care themselves. You see your daughter rearranging her day to take you to the doctor. You feel your son sigh when you ask for help with your phone. You notice the nurse gently lifting your arm and think, I don't want to be a bother, but here's what your body and your loved ones need you to hear. Needing help doesn't make you a burden. It makes you human. You've spent your life giving, raising children, building homes, cooking meals, holding others through their storms. You've earned the right to receive with dignity, and when you deny help thinking you're protecting others, you may actually be robbing them of the chance to love you back. I met a woman once named Marie, 76. She fell in her garden and didn't tell anyone, not wanting to worry her kids. Days later, the bruise turned into an infection. When her daughter found out, she cried. Why didn't you call me? She asked. And Marie whispered, because I didn't want to be a burden. Let go of that story. Let your loved ones in. Let your caregivers help. Let your grandchildren feel useful. Asking for help doesn't shrink your worth. It shows your wisdom. You're not a weight, you're a blessing. Let others carry you sometimes. It doesn't mean you've fallen. It means you're loved. Number 5, stop bottling up your emotions and pretending you're fine. There's a quiet sadness that many seniors carry like a folded letter in their chest, never opened, never spoken about. And it usually sounds like this: I'm fine. But the truth is you're not always fine. Sometimes you're lonely. Sometimes you're grieving. Sometimes you feel invisible, like the world has moved on and left you sitting in a slower lane with no one noticing. But you've been strong for so long, for your children, for your spouse, for your community, that even now when your heart aches or your thoughts spiral at night, you smile and wave it off. Don't worry about me, you say. Other people have it worse. But your body hears the silence. Your body feels the weight of every unspoken worry, every stuffed-down sorrow, every memory you haven't dared to cry over. And over time, that emotional pain doesn't disappear. It settles and into your chest, your gut, your tension, your sleep. It becomes fatigue, headaches, a racing heart, or even illness. You may not see the connection, but your body knows. Repressed emotions are like clutter in the attic. Sooner or later, something caves in. I remember an older gentleman named David who lost his wife after 51 years together. For months, he didn't speak of her, not even her name. When asked, he'd say, "It was a good life, I'm fine." But he began to lose weight. He couldn't sleep. He lost interest in the garden he once adored. Only when his granddaughter asked, "Do you miss Grandma?" And he finally said, more than anything in the world, did something soften in him. The tears he had feared for months finally came. And with them, a strange, healing kind of peace. From that day, he visited her grave with a little bench and sat and talked aloud to her. His body stopped aching so much. His appetite returned. His nights became less restless. You see, emotional pain doesn't disappear by ignoring it. It just burrows deeper and until it becomes physical. So please don't silence yourself to be polite. Don't hide your pain to protect others. Let someone in. Speak about your memories, your losses, your regrets, your fears. Write them down if you must. Whisper them into prayer. You are not a burden for feeling deeply. You are a miracle of love and life. And every emotion you feel, joy, sorrow, fear, longing, is a sign that your heart is still beating with purpose. Your story still matters. And there are people who want to hear it. Even if you don't think they do, don't carry it all alone. Share your truth. It will not make you weaker. It will set you free. Number 6, stop saying, "It's too late for me." There is a dangerous phrase that too many seniors speak softly under their breath, sometimes with a bitter laugh, sometimes with a quiet sigh. It's too late for me. It's too late to get stronger, too late to reconnect with old friends, too late to change bad habits, too late to find peace, or learn something new, or start over in some small way. But here's what your body and your soul is begging you to remember. You are still alive, and if you are still alive, it is not too late. That breath you just took, that was proof that you still have time to make choices that serve you. that there are still pages left to write in your story, not just flashbacks of the past, but brand new paragraphs of possibility. Aging does not mean your life is on pause. It means it's shifting. It's becoming more refined, more meaningful, more urgent in the best kind of way. The only thing stopping you is the belief that you're already done. I once met a woman named Judith. She was 74, and she had never learned to swim. Not because she was afraid of water, but because when she was younger her family said it was not ladylike. So she grew up watching from the shore, always longing. At 74, she said, "It's too late now." But one day, while watching her great-grandson splash around in the pool, he said, "Why don't you come in, Nana?" And something broke open. She took lessons. Slow, clumsy at first, laughing through it all. But she did it. Her first swim. She came out crying. "I never thought I'd feel this free," she said. "It wasn't about the water. It was about breaking the myth of being too old. And it's not just about swimming. It could be reaching out to a friend you haven't spoken to in years. It could be picking up a paintbrush, starting a journal, changing your diet, planting something in the backyard, or taking the walk you've been avoiding for months. It could be forgiving yourself for something you did or didn't do decades ago. The truth is, your body is still responding to your choices. It's not giving up on you, so don't give up on it. When you say it's too late, your cells hear resignation. When you say, "Let's try," your whole body leans forward and says, "Yes, please." Don't let age become a cage. Let it become a stage, one where you finally speak your truth, live with softness, and try things not because you must, but because you can. You are not done. You are becoming. Number 7. Stop surrounding yourself with people who drain your energy. At this age, your time is precious. Your peace is sacred. Yet so many seniors still feel tied to people who make them feel small, anxious, or invisible. Maybe it's an old friend who constantly complains, bringing every conversation back to their own drama. Maybe it's a family member who speaks to you with impatience, who treats your questions like burdens and your stories like annoyances. Or maybe it's that voice in your head, shaped by years of criticism, that keeps saying you're not enough. Your body may not speak in words, but it reacts. After a draining phone call, you feel tired. After a tense visit, your heart races. After being dismissed one too many times, your chest feels heavy, and you wonder why you don't feel like yourself anymore. That's not just emotion. That's energy being stolen day after day. You've spent your life showing up for others, maybe more than they ever showed up for you. But now is the time to stop pouring into people who only take and never refill. There is a cost to constantly being around negativity. It builds up like emotional dust, and before long it dulls your spark, clouds your thinking, and even affects your health. I remember a retired schoolteacher named Helen who once said, "Every time my niece visits, I feel like I'm being criticized for just existing." She smiled when she said it, but it was a tired, resigned smile. When I asked her how often she wanted to see her niece, she whispered, "Not at all." So why did she allow it? Guilt. Obligation, the fear of upsetting family. But the day she gave herself permission to say no, she came alive. She replaced that time with a neighbor who loved to talk about books and flowers. Her posture changed. Her voice sounded lighter. Her laughter came easier. This stage of life is not the time for fake smiles or forced conversations. You don't owe anyone access to your peace, not anymore. If someone leaves you feeling worse than before they came, that's a signal, and your body feels it even if you pretend you don't. Give yourself the gift of boundaries. Spend more time with people who see you, who honor you, who make space for your stories and stillness. Be with those who ask, "How are you, Anne, really?" and wait for the answer. Because at this age, every minute matters. Let those minutes be filled with light, not weight. You deserve peace. You deserve warmth. You deserve to feel good in the presence of others, not invisible. Number 8. Stop ignoring the small warning signs your body gives you. There's a quiet habit many seniors develop, not out of denial but out of sheer tiredness, a strange ache in the hip. Just old age, a sudden dizzy spell. I stood up too fast. Blurry vision in one eye. I didn't sleep well. We wave these things off. We wait for them to pass. We avoid telling anyone because we don't want to make a fuss or be poked and prodded again. But here's what most don't realize. Your body whispers before it screams. That quiet ache today could become a fall tomorrow. That chest discomfort might not be gas. It might be a cry for urgent help. And pretending it's nothing because you're used to pain is like ignoring a smoke alarm because the fire seems small. Your body, even now, is still talking to you. Are you listening? I once met a widower named Jorge who felt a flutter in his chest at night. He told no one. For weeks he felt it, ignored it, until one morning he collapsed while watering his plants. A neighbor found him just in time. After surgery, he said, "I was more afraid of being a bother than of dying." That stuck with me, because how many others live with the same fear? How many feel something off and think, "I'm just being paranoid," and let it pass? But aging doesn't mean surrendering to suffering. It means paying closer attention, because now every signal matters. The earlier you catch something, the more likely it can be managed and or even reversed. So please, if you feel something unfamiliar, don't downplay it. If your sleep suddenly changes, if your balance feels off, if you're suddenly short of breath, or if your memory feels foggier than usual, don't dismiss it. Call someone, write it down, get it checked. Not because we want to treat you endlessly, but because we want to preserve you. Your dignity, your independence, your joy. Your health isn't a burden to others, it's your birthright. And ignoring it doesn't make you brave. It only makes things harder later. Your body still wants to fight for you. Help it by paying attention. The smallest symptoms can be the biggest warnings, and the earlier you listen, the better your chances of healing. You don't have to be afraid of getting help. Be afraid of ignoring yourself. Number 9. Stop living like you're waiting to die instead of preparing to live. There's a quiet grief that settles into some hearts after 70. A belief that the best is behind them, that the memories made are more than what's ahead. You start hearing phrases like, "I just want to be comfortable until the end," or, "What's the point in starting something now?" You begin to organize your paperwork just in case, give away little things you've loved, and slowly, without even realizing, you stop dreaming. But here's the truth, your soul is still whispering. You're not dead, not even close. You still woke up this morning. The sun still touched your skin. Your heart still beats with a rhythm the world needs. You still have stories to tell, smiles to give, lessons to teach, and beauty to witness. Why live like you're just counting time when you could be creating meaning? There's a woman named Clara, she's 92 now, who wakes up every morning and writes a little note to herself. It says, "Today still matters." She started doing that after losing her husband at 80 and feeling like her life ended too. But something in her shifted. She began tutoring kids in math. She started baking for the community center. She learned how to use a smartphone just to send heart emojis to her grandchildren. She told me, "Every day I add a new wrinkle, I also add a new joy." And she meant it, because the truth is, the body may slow, but the spirit doesn't age. You're not here to just survive quietly. You're here to live deeply with presence and passion. That doesn't mean big adventures or wild changes. It means waking up with a sense of possibility, no matter your aches, your losses, or your age. So stop living like your story is winding down. This is not your final chapter. It's a new one, written with wisdom, colored with depth, and guided by a heart that's still wide open. Laugh a little louder. Say yes a little more. Sit outside and watch the birds. Try something that scares you. Reach out to someone you've been thinking about for years. You're not here to disappear quietly. You're here to shine, even in your softness. Don't just wait to die. Prepare to live. This life is still yours, and every moment can still bloom.